What's up, guys? Welcome to the first ever episode 189 of the Kind of Funny Gamescast. As always, I'm Tim Gettys, joined by one of the coolest dudes in video games, Greg Miller.
It was a pleasure having Jared for 12 episodes, but it's over.
What
all
happened?
Right? He went on vacation for a week.
Oh, okay. So he will return.
I did the normal thing where the wheels started clicking into place, and I was going to say rest in peace, and then it's always weird. What if he does die while he's gone?
Oh, you're
And then
right.
I feel like an asshole that I fucking claimed earlier. Then the cops look into me. You know, he died under weird circumstances. He was poisoned on a train. A lot of people think it's the ham he was eating, but why? Even Greg already knew he was dead. Then we're into a Chris Benoit situation. The Wikipedia page has been updated before anyone knows he's dead. Then I got the fucking FBI breathing down my neck again. They start looking into my wife. You know what I mean? Is she a full citizen? Is she not a full citizen?
lying?
Why
Is
is
she
this all
dying?
up? Exactly.
I don't know.
Then you know what I got to do? Pull the ripcord. Take Portillo. Cock him one way, cock him the other way. Turns out he's been a gun this whole time. Put him on my hands. He fires off energy blasts.
What the fuck? Where does this shit come from in your head?
Well, think about Portillo. He's very cylinder. And you can imagine me putting my hands into him.
But then so he's a gun, energy gun, though. Like,
Yeah.
there was a lot
his
of...
little mouth going, gung, gung. And like energy's coming out, and then it's his
Okay.
asshole on the other one.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I mean, shit,
Yeah,
man. That is quite the...
Meanwhile,
if
Jen
anybody
turns
around
out,
you died.
it turns out, giant salamander.
Why?
I need her to fight with me, and that's that cool power. If she's like on the wall next to me, and I'm like, gung, gung, with a
Mystique?
mouth and an asshole. Yeah.
Yeah. Man, very visual, very visual. If
Hey, do you
anyone
know
ever
what? I like to
dies
paint a
around you,
picture.
they're gonna blame you. Like, they're gonna know that they're gonna at least come searching, knocking on your door, asking you some questions.
Here's the thing.
Trying to find out what you know.
I would be insulted if one of you or anyone in the close circle dies around us of mysterious circumstances and I'm not suspect
You're
number
not
one. You know what I mean?
questioned. Yeah.
I want to be there. I want the thing where like they are talking about it on the news, you know what I mean? Of like, oh man, and it's me coming in and that I got the khakis on and the windbreaker and I'm coming in with my hands in my pockets. Like, I'm a person of interest.
Yeah,
They're not
a
prepared
POI.
to say I'm a suspect yet, that they're charging me with anything, but I'm definitely there. At which point they run the news reel, like the highlights of me laughing and the stupid things and talking about asshole
Charles
guns.
Webb.
And then they're like, we got to look into this guy.
Yeah.
We know he's literally one bad day away.
One bad
from
day
just
away.
fucking tumbling down. And
mistakes.
then they'll put up like with artist renditions of the Grabbler, and they'll be like, this is what he could be. Don't forget.
This is what he could be. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Kind of Funny Gamescast each and every week right here on youtube.com/kindoffunnygames. We get together, talk about video games, all the things that we love about them. And man, this week you've been playing a lot of games, a lot of cool games.
I have been playing a lot of cool
that
games.
people are going to want to hear about.
I have been.
You can get the show early by going to patreon.com/kindoffunnygames, just like our Patreon producers did. Warren Moore, Eric Heitz, Tom Bach.
Holy shit,
the
3?
trifecta. Oh yeah, 3.
Nice job, everybody.
Yeah,
Come
man.
on.
Thank
Thank
you
you for your
guys
support on
for making this all happen.
patreon.com/kindoffunnygames. Couldn't
You
do
don't need to
without
spend that much money, though, if you want to get the show early. For just $1, you can be watching the show live alongside a whole bunch of great best friends out there. Or for a couple more dollars, you can get the show early as an audio or video with pre and post show.
on the video.
Did we talk? Yeah, pre-show on the video.
We got to simplify that.
We talked for like 23 minutes.
We did about all manner of things. We went through the
bunch of
Fortnite
stuff.
skins, kind
Fortnite,
of.
yeah.
Actually, we didn't. We opened them. I bitched about not having Wiener Dog. Never really talked about it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to buy the Battle Pass. Decided.
How come?
I'm not going to play it that much, I don't think, this season. The Fortnite obsession was at its peak, end of season 4, beginning of season 5. We were all into it here, and I was playing it nonstop all the time. Play it here with you guys, or not you, but the cool kids here at work, and then go home, play it on my own on the TV. Now, you kidding me right now? Fucking fall releases happening right now. I ain't got time to play no Fortnite. I love Fortnite. I'm not saying Fortnite's a bad game. I'll play here when everybody wants to pick up for a little bit and screw around, but like when I get home, me and Cassandra got some shit to do in ancient Greece.
I get that.
Me and then
that makes a lot of sense. But we haven't. I know this isn't normally the show that we talk about all of this.
Yeah.
Games Daily is the more like news of the moment.
Hot
and whatever.
happening news. Yeah.
We haven't talked about the me and you haven't talked about
Sure.
Sony changing
Coming
its
down.
stance on.
And I
the
think that's
Fortnite
something you can
stuff.
talk about on Gamescast.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's going to be a little out of date for the people when they hear it.
Well, I
But like,
think
what's the takeaway of this?
That's awesome. Oh my God. I can't fucking believe it happened.
Yeah.
Oh, I can. It's a multi-tiered. Oh my God. This is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I had always my biggest problem since the started at E3 was the cross progression. Crossplay, I was like, all right, whatever. I don't care. That's your business. I'm not going to get in your. A lot of people were up in their face about that, and I'm like, it does. I still think it does. It did look like me. It didn't make them look strong. It made them look petty. But cross progression was the one thing. I'm just like, let me share the Epic account. Let me share my stuff. It sucked that I had like a month before gone in with my Twitch Prime and redeemed the skins on my PSN, which now are locked there and I couldn't use. I'm like, well, that sucks. And I had invested money on my PSN Fortnite of like, I wanted the Arctic outfit for the woman. I was like, that's great. But I couldn't use them on Switch. So I was like, fuck that. Made a Switch account. Yeah. So for it to be this one foul swoop out of the blue, you know what I mean?
Out of the fucking
woke up early, like 7 or 7:30 and had a text message from somebody at PlayStation who's like, you're fucking welcome. Yeah. And I was like, what? And then no links or anything. And I went and found it. I was like, holy shit. And for it to be that, it's cross progression, it's cross play. And then to have Epic in the same breath come out and be like, hey, if you created a secondary account, here's what's happening. We're working on a way for you to merge them and share everything. Until then, you're going to be able to unlink things here in the coming days.
Is there not a catch, but is there a downside to this? This seems like not only what you were asking for,
100%,
but this seems like everything anyone even could ask for.
Yeah, no, I don't know of a downside. I haven't seen the Fortnite hardcore or PlayStation hardcore come up and be like, here's the problem. The one thing I've seen, and this could easily, first off, it's just Scuttlebutt I think I saw as a Reddit thread on the Fortnite subreddit, and it could be something that's already been fixed or will be changed or whatever, is that if you're using a PlayStation exclusive skin right now, I guess, and remember, we're recording on day 2 of this, like this, day 2 of this. This isn't like, I guess technically the first 24 hours of this. When it first launched, apparently, if you were using a PlayStation exclusive skin on the other platforms, you appeared as just the default skin rather than show off your cool thing. But I don't know if that's just, hey, day one problems are working through it or whatever. And also, who the fuck cares? Like, I want to look cool when I play the game for myself, not as much for other people. Even though everybody knows if you see that John Wick skin, you're fucked. That guy's gonna kill you.
You're fucked. Man, I am just so impressed that it is out of nowhere and that Sony's like doing things that, like. This is, to me, the opposite of too little too late. It might have took a while, whatever, but they got there.
What I liked a lot about it is it's what I was talking about in the moment of like, I can't believe how tone deaf you're being. I can't believe you don't have a statement. When they put out these statements that were garbage statements that were just fucking word salad, you're like, what are you fucking talking about? Yesterday's statement on the PlayStation blog from John, the president and CEO of the global SIE, was very much like, hey, we're doing this in a beta. We've never done this before. This represents a giant change in our way of thinking. And basically being like, it is a different time for games, and we are coming to terms with that, and this is the first step. And to see the PlayStation blog talk about the Nintendo Switch and the Xbox One and Windows and stuff, it was a really well done message of like, listen, we heard you obviously from the start, but we're a big corporation and we needed to get our ducks in a row, and we're there now, but we're still doing this slowly with you. Like, this isn't going to be floodgates open, everybody's playing Black Ops 4, we're all doing cross-play on everything, right?
But so, I mean, this news is so exciting to me because, even just seeing Switch and Xbox be talked about on the blog is such a huge step. All these rumors of, and I know it's been years, but rumors of the PSN name changes that have been popping up a lot more recently than we've seen before.
I'll tell you what, today, side note, but in the same vein, Kind of Funny Games Daily Questions aflame because we were talking yesterday about what the fuck's going on with PSX, right? Blah, blah, blah. So many people called out the fact that they're not going to do a PSX this year, Greg, because last year Sean Layden said, hopefully by this time next year we'd have PSN name changes. So they don't want to talk to you. Yeah,
I forgot. I didn't actually read the articles or stuff. It was just a Twitter glance that I saw. But Titus, Tidux on Titus is the Final Fantasy X.
All right.
Just the X is what's throwing me
off.
On Twitter, he was saying stuff that there's like a lot of evidence towards PSN name changes coming soon. And I'm like, that if they were to just be like, here it is, and it is just a random Tuesday that
it's going to be. It's going to be.
Like that plus this. I mean, even if they don't do that, this is so huge where, and with Xbox announcing its XO18.
Yep.
Why is it called that? That's such a weird name.
I was saying it entire show XO18, and somebody wrote in to explain it, and I totally forgot, so I don't remember why.
But them announcing that, and like we've seen Microsoft make such consumer-friendly moves in the last, even let's just say year or 2 years.
This generation.
The Xbox One. This generation,
Since Phil Spencer came in, Xbox has been killing it. Yeah.
Exactly. Phil Spencer's Xbox. And I feel like this move is so huge for them. to have a fan event that they've been doing for years, but to put more importance
Make
on
it more like a
and,
PSX,
and make it more like a PSX, I think is a very important move for them, a big move for them to set even better dominoes to knock over next generation. And to me, the most interesting thing is doing it in Mexico City.
Sure.
Like that is a bold move, a different move. And when you look at the audience in Mexico, it is absolutely huge. And when you see things like Fortnite that are completely changing video games, like it is not just one video game. You can play this thing on any system, and people, it's a phenomenon around the world that we haven't seen the likes of since something like Pokemon.
Right.
Where it's like turns into this like giant, mega huge
Everyone
thing.
knows Fortnite. And when my butcher opened his mouth to talk to me about, oh yeah, my friend's kid, Fortnite, they're playing Fortnite. Yeah, I know.
And that shit is crazy to me. And I was talking to my friend today who works at Twitch, and he was talking about how the Spanish-speaking streams are huge for Fortnite, and there's just this huge audience. And he's like, "There's a reason why Xbox is going to Mexico." And I'm like, I just love that the video games are getting kind of even broader in terms of mainstream appeal, like where. You know, we talk about Japan, we talk about America. Mexico doesn't get talked about that much. But when you look at things like YouTube and Twitch, there's huge audiences there devouring this content. When you add all of this up, it's really creating an interesting framework for next generation of if they combine this, was it Scarlet, the Xbox Scarlet stuff, the cloud-based streaming stuff, if Sony does something similar, Sony adding its PlayStation Now being able to download PS4 games, which felt like just such a like, oh yeah, here's an article that came out today. No, that's a huge fucking deal. Like it's Game Pass now. Just on a different level with Sony. If they keep dedicating to that, and if they keep going down this path of this Fortnite is PSN crossplay stuff is not just the end of it, but actual, hey, we're seeing how this goes and we're going to take steps. What's the next game that is mega popular that is played across all systems?
Rocket League.
You know, and well, I would say Rocket League was the first. Like, if
I think for them to get into PlayStation,
for them to get it, But what I'm saying is, I feel like there's a massive shift that is about to happen in video games that might take 2 more years or a couple more years. But what Rocket League kind of put out there of, hey, here's this amazing multiplayer game that you can play on any system,
no limits,
together,
kind of
but
thing,
whatever. But then Fortnite to be this like it's free to play phenomenon everywhere. What could this look like for other genres? What could this look like in a couple years when, you know, the Fortnite kids are now teenagers that want something different, you know? I don't know. It's just really crazy.
Sure. And you figure a lot of the Fortnite teens or Fortnite young adults playing this were Minecraft kids, and that's why it's found this, right? Like you are seeing a lineage through it. And Minecraft, another game that is everywhere. Minecraft, another game, honestly, that might even beat Rocket League, but that's just so closely tied to Xbox that I don't know how PlayStation feels about playing nice there. But again, it's what I was talking about with this announcement was, you know, don't put the cart in front of the horse. This is the first step for PlayStation. Obviously, the first step for Nintendo and Xbox has already happened. It's going to be glacial, where I think it's going to take a little bit of time, and it's going to be, okay, cool, let's do Rocket League. Okay, let's do Minecraft. Okay, like somebody wrote into Games the other day, like, I have this theory that Black Ops 4 will be the first. I'm like, no chance. No, like we're not there yet.
Destiny 2, no. Like,
I don't know, and I do think there is going to be a race of, hey, we want to be the first third-party publisher who on an E3 stage gets to do, it's Destiny 3, it's Division 3, it's whatever, it's maybe a new IP where we're showing you this amazing world, play with your friends, and then literally play anywhere, Xbox, PC, PlayStation, and you know what I mean? Like fucking have the place go crazy. Like we're in a race to that moment, but that moment's still quite a ways away.
Who is it?
I don't know. I've done it too. I know. I go back and forth.
With what you just said, we got, like, let's start with the easy answers that we doubt it'll be Nintendo, PlayStation, or Xbox.
Right.
I can't imagine on one of their stages.
Now for one quick second, like, yes. I mean, for a new game, right? Because, I mean, Minecraft could do it, but do we count Minecraft?
Let's put Minecraft aside just because.
If we're talking about a new IP, hey.
New IP or sequel.
I wouldn't put Microsoft outside of the radius on that one, because I do think that's how they are aggressive. They are consumer focused. They have really cool ideas. They are building up a first party stable now. And so one of them, if they were working on a multiplayer or whatever, if Undead Labs is making State of Decay MMO or some shit, like, why not? You know what I mean? Do that and try to be that. I think Microsoft's still in that mindset and will be for the foreseeable future until the next Xbox hits. And if it hit and somehow had a PlayStation 4 kind of generation beginning, then maybe they'd start closing those doors. But I really don't. That's the biggest thing. Here, stick with me on this whole thing. PlayStation, we're doing this beta. It's first steps. This is a change of pace for us. There is still a part of me that's cynical that goes, okay, is it lip service? And I've covered PlayStation my entire career. I'm not saying, they're bad people or anything like that. It's just one of those things of, I understand you have to do this for Fortnite. It's Fortnite. As you're saying, you can't go anywhere and not see it. Are we going to see Minecraft? Are we going to see Rocket League? Are we going to see Warframe? Like, what is the sliding scale of what this means to you? And I'm not saying this. I have that thing of, is it lip service? Everything Xbox does and talks about in terms of consumer focused shit, I do not believe is lip service. I believe in their meetings, they are like, what's best for gamers? I don't think it is like, what's best for gamers right now so we can get a foothold and we can take back number one and then start walling things. And granted, no one thinks that way in terms of like that. But I just don't think if they kept the same leadership they have right now, they're going to get to that point and be on top and then be like, now let's start locking it fucking back down. I feel like it's still going to be Play Anywhere. It's still going to be Game Pass. It's still going to be all these amazing programs and reasons. And it's the same thing I will continue to say of like, I cheer the most for Xbox. I think they are doing the best in terms of all this stuff. I think they are really, I think PlayStation started out and got its lead because PlayStation was like, we're human beings, we're for the gamers, and Xbox fucked up by being like TV, Xbox, Call of Duty, all that shit. But in that same thing, PlayStation got quiet and battened down the hatches. And this isn't a bad thing. Don't get me wrong. This isn't a bad thing. Yeah. They just became, cool, we're on top and we're number one, and let's go a little bit quieter. Let's focus. Let's rein it in a bit. Let's let the games speak for themselves. Fucking God of War, Spider-Man, we don't have to, everybody calm down. And meanwhile, Xbox is like, fuck, we don't, and I'm not trying to start shit. We don't have that exclusive library yet. We need to be the company for the gamers in a way that PlayStation said it was, and it is, the machines for the gamers, but be like the company for the gamers of Game Pass and this and Gold, and then the Xbox show they do now that I can't remember the name of right now. Inside Xbox. Like, just doing all this thing and having Phil Spencer really be a man of the people who is on Twitter and is talking to people and is answering questions straight up in a way, not that, Shuhei doesn't, but his position is much different than what Shuhei's position is, right?
Well, I also think there's just the difference culturally of Microsoft being an American company.
Being Western,
and Western. So, yeah, it's just crazy, but I don't think that it'll be Microsoft to do it. It makes sense.
Oh, no, I don't think so either. You just said disqualify the three, and I was like, I wouldn't disqualify Microsoft. I think they have a chance. Yeah. Outside of that, it is interesting, and I would say it's down to
EA, UB, or Activision, right?
Right. My problem being is just that for me, it's hard to think. I think that if UB was to do it, it would be Division. Right? Mm-hmm. I guess For Honor 2 could be a possibility, right? Or something like The Crew 3. It's either got to be a new IP or a sequel, right? So that's where it gets difficult of like, well, fuck. Destiny is Activision's big console, big multiplayer thing, right? In terms of like where there's an audience and like their game as a service right now. But they just put out Destiny 2. And I don't see it. I guess that could be the way. Is that would actually be a really interesting boost in the arm to Destiny if it was like, cool, hey, Guardians, guess what? You're all together now. Yeah, you get to announce that at next year's E3, 2 E3 is out.
It's weird, though, because we're talking about Fortnite, right, which is this kind of anomaly and like a potentially one-off case, and I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing either. Like, I think that the crossplay is going to add so many issues. Like, if online's already shit day one for every game, this is just going to make it even worse and have more problems, right? I just don't think that we're there yet, but it does take these steps to eventually, hopefully, get there where things absolutely work together. But
here's the thing: is I wish I could agree, but it already isn't.
Yeah.
Like playing with Xbox and Switch and phones, I'm always blown away by how well it works. And I'm talking about like, remember when it dropped on Switch at E3? And then that Saturday, it was me, Scott, Jen, and James Faulkner, and it was 3 Switches in 1 phone. And it was like, all right, cool. Like, I always expected it to be, and even when I've played with Xbox 360 kids, I always kind of expected it to be that, like, strobe light where I'm like, no, your legs aren't moving. And I'm sure these problems exist and they're uncaptured, blah, blah. I'm just saying that I didn't run into those problems with Fortnite.
And well, that's the thing with Fortnite. I'm talking about giant game launch. If Destiny 3 were to come out day one, there'd be a lot of issues. Like when we're getting that scale of game, because Fortnite's one thing, and granted it's huge, but it's also existed for a long time, and there's a lot of money and effort and shit put into that. But going backwards, there was the smaller titles like Rocket League and Minecraft and things like that I do think that this makes a lot more sense for. I think that there's a chasm where games like State of Decay could lie if there was an online version or whatever. That could lie, or The Crew, or For Honor even. But to get to that next level of the Call of Duties and Divisions and like these really giant and Destinies, I feel, or Anthem, that is such a bigger step, but I almost feel that's going to happen before the mid-tier titles. Like I feel like it's not going to, Microsoft or anybody's not going to come out and be like, yeah, it's For Honor that you can play with anybody. It has to be this giant jump of either Call of Duty, Destiny, Division, or Battlefield, or whatever Star Wars shit.
Well, what's fascinating about this whole debate, and let's just use Destiny as an example, right, is the fact that, okay, you're talking PC, Xbox One, PlayStation 4. And the big selling point of PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, well, Xbox One you already see, Play Anywhere, it's on PC, it's on Xbox One. For PlayStation 4 was that, hey, guess what? The internals of this are a PC. So then you started to wonder, like, what? It's not like it was with PS3 where, all right, cool, Xbox and PC are talking one language and PCs on a cell processor are completely different, or PlayStation 3s on a cell processor are completely different. So at that point, if the boxes truly are to the point where they are just sliders on a PC scale, not that I'm saying you hit a button, you port games, but like in terms of like, it's really a rendering of quality or whatever, you start to wonder like what Destiny is the most things you have to worry about in an instance is if you're doing a raid and that's 8 players. Otherwise you're in a fire team, right? So it's, shit, I haven't played Destiny in a while. That's 3 people, right? Is that 4 people? I think it's 3, whatever. You're 3 or 4 players, right? In terms of what your fire team is. That to me seems less intense than a Fortnite. Hey, it's 100 players and some of them are on phones, some of them are on PlayStation, some of them are on a Switch, some are on Xbox.
Yeah.
Like but again, we're not developers. I don't know the code, yada, yada, yada. I definitely think with all due respect, Fortnite is a simpler game under the hood than Destiny.
I mean, it must be. It is.
Well, I say...
No, straight up, it is.
Well, I mean, no, because here's the thing. Stick with me. And this is, again, I'm not a developer, but I would actually wonder, wait, is it because you guess the players have their ability to make their own geometry in the level in Fortnite? Whereas in Destiny, it's set. It's like a haunted house in a way, right? You know where the monsters are going to spawn from. It's just making them all communicate. But then it is latency, shooting, mechanics like that in a way. I don't know. It's fascinating.
Not a scientist.
I'm not going to call Steve Gaynor on this. We called Steve Gaynor a couple days ago on Gamescast or Daily to have him answer a question. Now I'm annoyed. I got to check out how big a fire team is because, well, I'll call Andrea. She'll yell at us.
It's good. I miss Andrea. Yeah, I don't know. It's an exciting time. I love, seeing Nintendo return with the Switch. I love seeing Xbox making these giant changes. I love seeing PlayStation put out amazing first-party titles. And listen, lip service or not, listen.
Yeah, 100%. It's 3.
Well,
yeah.
Listen, Dad.
Andrea, it's Greg. You're on the Kind of Funny Games Daily. No, Gamescast. How you doing?
I'm sorry, what?
You're on the Gamescast. How are you?
What's a Gamescast?
Oh, no, this is the wrong... Hey, Andrea, how are you?
I'm good.
The phone called the wrong Andrea. You wouldn't know this.
Okay.
Do you know how big a Destiny fire team is?
No.
Yeah, see, all right, cool. I'll talk to you later.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
I was going to say, that is not her voice.
I thought she was sleeping at first. I was like, wait, hold on. What's going on? There it is. There's Andrea Renee. That's funny. I was like, wait a second. This doesn't sound right. I don't know. Andrea.
Oh, man.
You never know what's going to happen on the Gamescast.
You never know, dude.
That's what threw me because I was like, that doesn't sound like her. But then I was like, well, Kind of Funny Games. Wait, where am I? What's happening? It's a fun show, isn't it?
It's a fun
For something, every Destiny player is just yelling. It's 3. It's 3, Tim.
There's 3.
I'm telling you, it's 3. What's Andrea doing? Busy slating the business. Fuck it.
All right.
I'll do it the old way and I'll just Google it. But I'm sure it's 3.
Mm-hmm.
How big? How big
Well, this was a super, super fun discussion, Greg. But I want to talk to you.
Hold on, we're almost there.
Once you figure it out.
Fire team size in Destiny. Why can't the fire team be bigger than 3? It's 3. Thank you, everybody.
I want to talk to you about Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Dun, dun, dun,
You've
dun.
been playing it.
I have.
The preview embargo's up. What does that mean?
It means we can't give a full-fledged score. You can't spoil any story stuff. You have to be a little bit more vague on certain things, but nothing I'm going to say about it would violate any of those things.
How long have you played?
My save file, I believe now, is at 13 hours.
13 hours?
Yeah, and it flew the fuck by.
Really?
Like, at first I was like, this save file can't be correct. It must be counting when the PlayStation's in sleep or whatever. And then I've chipped away a few other times. And I'm like, no, that's actually pretty accurate, I guess. Damn. Yeah, because I got it while we were in London, obviously, downloaded it here. And then when I got back, started it on Saturday and played a lot Saturday and Sunday, obviously. And then the last couple nights.
What are you thinking?
I love this game.
Yeah?
Yeah, like
so
for real.
Your Assassin's Creed
Here we go.
lineage.
Sure.
You love to, right?
Yeah, here, I mean, I'll give it to you this way. This is what I'm going to say, right? Is that for Assassin's Creed Odyssey, it is the most fun I've had playing an Assassin's Creed since Black Flag. And I loved Black Flag at the launch, PlayStation 4 launch and all that jazz. And I think it's the best story I've ever played in Assassin's Creed.
Okay.
Now, for context of where you're going, right? Because this is obviously a franchise that's been around for fucking ever now. I never fucked with the first one, Altair and all that stuff. I had heard just mixed reviews, and I was at IGN when Hillary reviewed it, and I was like, doesn't sound like me. Assassin's Creed 2 with Ezio jumped in, loved it. Loved Brotherhood. Platinum number 2, didn't platinum Brotherhood, but played the hell out of Brotherhood. Totally dug where Ezio as a character was coming from, all that stuff. 3 with the American Revolution and well, they did more with us, Revelations, right? And I was like, all right, I've had a little bit, I'm done here. 3, I thought, what a boring start to this fucking thing. Black Flag gets in the mix in there. They had this is where they start to get so many of them. I played the fucking Vita one. I played the PSP one. You know what I mean? Like, we're all over the place. You get to
Unity.
Yeah, Unity I didn't touch because it was the fucking eyeballs, and everybody's like, you don't need to play this one. Syndicate in England, which I played, and I was like, all right, cool, we're in England, and it was one of those, like, I can't tell you anything about that story anymore. I played for a few hours, and I was like, whatever, I'm just going to go. Origins being the return to form last year that people really loved, I jumped in and played, I think it was 2 hours. You can check the old Gamescast if you want to keep me honest. But it was like, I don't dig Bayek. I don't dig the start to this story. I do not understand what's going on. I don't dig the world. Egypt in general just seemed brown and boring and bland, and I just did not get into it. And I know, and what I did always say is, the combat's cool. I understand what you're doing here from a mechanics perspective. It's just not for me in terms of a world I want to exist in. So you get to Odyssey, and they show all this stuff from Odyssey and start doing. I'm like, all right, cool. You're watching all the stuff. You're doing all the stuff. All right, that's fine. And it was. I dug how colorful the world was. At a glance, the grease they were making, right? It looked like, man, bright blues, bright greens,
flowers,
sunshine. There's all sorts of different colors, all sorts of different darkness. I was like, that looks like a fun world, a world I'd want to exist in, right? Then they got to the character reveals, and at E3, I got to go play as Cassandra, the female protagonist. And jumping in there, I was like, damn, she reminds me a lot of Wonder Woman or Xena, or you know what I mean? And like, she's a mercenary, and so she's kind of in this like gray area. And granted, so is Alexia if you play as him.
Yeah.
But like for me, like I felt a connection to her immediately. I was like, that's actually really cool. Like I already have a base level jumping off point for it.
Closest thing you'll get to a Wonder Woman game for
exactly,
a while.
100%. God damn it. So when I got the game and sat down, it was very much like, all right, cool. These are all things. On paper, I like it. And again, I like the format of Assassin's Creed. I like just running around, assassinating people. I like the million things to do. I like that it is definitely a smorgasbord game of, do you want to do a synchronization point? Do you want to do a side mission? Do you want to do a story mission? Do you want to do this? Black Flag suffered, I feel, from the thing that, okay, cool, you're Connor Kenway. You are out there to do your thing. You're going to be a pirate. I loved the game. I loved the gameplay. My idea was I was going to go, do you remember, did you ever play? Like you start the thing and it's like you start like easy levels are up here, or islands and shit are up here, and then it gets harder and harder and harder. And it was I was like, I'm going to just go island by island south and just clear this fucking map. And I played that way for whatever it was, 20 hours, and then did a thing where I hit it and zoomed out, and I was like, oh my God, this world is too big. Like, I'm just never going to do this. And the problem, of course, was for me that there was no hook to pull me through. And Ezio's story I remember liking so much because it just started in an interesting place of, hey, you're just this normal dude from a well-to-do family. Shit goes south. Now you need to go do this. You're kind of starting the brotherhood. Okay, cool. But it was a jumping off point that I thought was interesting.
Yeah.
Beyond that, I really can't tell you Ezio stuff except for at the end with like the piece of Eden when in spoilers for Assassin's Creed, when they start talking to Desmond and Ezio's like, who's Desmond? Like, that was all like, oh man, that's really cool. Black Flag, the fucking modern day stuff, I don't vaguely even remember, right?
Yeah.
Like, what I love about Odyssey so far is that from the jump, it's like, here's Cassandra. She's fucking awesome. Here's you making choices that affect the gameplay in the world, right? Like,
does that feel gimmicky though? Because that's my thing is, like, as an outsider that I played Origins for probably an hour and I was just like, yep, still not for me.
Sure.
Everybody seemed to love that game,
Yeah.
and the time off seemed to, and the changes that they made feel like it modernized Assassin's Creed for a lot of people. But the kind of word on the street is like that this seems a little quick of a turnaround to have another game, and people are worried that it's going to be way too samey.
Sure.
And the choices and the options that they added for like dialogue choices, and the diverging paths seemed a little tacked on to me. Just looking at the E3 stuff, does it feel that way at all?
I mean, what do you want out of it? I guess like I don't think it's so. I mean, it's like like you're gonna get, it's very like Telltale or original Telltale, right? Of like you start at one point. Everybody goes from one point and then expands out, but you come back to the same point, right? Like you still can't. Yeah, you can be nice to somebody, be stern with them, or you can fucking kill them, right? And it's like that does cut off certain options here and there, but you're still going to get to the points you want to get to.
Yeah.
It's just how do you want to handle it? Which again, like I always used to talk about, Walking Dead, the Telltale season 1, right? Is like. In the end, we all have the same picture, but our choices are like a coloring book, and we shaded them differently. So, like my Cassandra is shading it one way, where I am still being very like not noble, but like, all right, I'll play along, and then you fucking cross the line, and I fucking get in your face, and the character's like, whoa, I didn't mean, you know what I mean? Like that wouldn't necessarily be that way for you if you started harder, or if you wanted to murder him right there, but. Those are like the one-off little conversations, and there are the scales of justice and a heart there, and like it's telling you like these are different ways you can go, right? Like I had sex with this lady or whatever, and you wouldn't have to do that if you didn't, or you wouldn't do that if you didn't make the choices I made or whatever. But then outside of that, like there's a choice early on in the game. And not even, I guess it's a full-blown choice where you're sent off on a mission by a friend, and you get there and you hear both sides of the story, and it is like, what do you want to do? And for me, it's very interesting because for me, I was like, ooh, this is a very video gamey thing, right? Of like, it seems like there's a right and a wrong, a black and a white. And I chose what I would consider the wrong thing. I'm like, wow, it's my game, whatever. I'm like, no, right? And meanwhile, I was talking to Andrea, and she chose what I would consider and what she considered the good thing, right? And it totally backfired and fucked up her world and didn't fuck up mine because I made the
best laid plans.
I made the hard choice or whatever, and it's like that's cool. And it's the fact that me and Kevin did the same thing, and like have that conversation of like our worlds are already different. Now, granted, they're the same worlds. You're gonna still have the same villains. You're gonna still have the same, but like those little changes already just add a spice to it that I like so much. But choice and agency and whatever aside from it, it's just so far, and again, 12, 13, 14 hours in.
It's a lot of hours, though.
Sure, but I mean, like...
Really, everyone seems super into this game that has been playing it.
Well, the thing about it, right, is that it's doing it so... you always say that I love... You'll talk about... this felt like a really good season of Spider-Man or something like that, right? The story beats they're putting in here make it so that even though it's a giant open world game where, yes, I am wasting tons of time just being like, no, I'm going to go after some cultists. I'm going to go after that thing. What's that? You know what I mean? When I do the story stuff, the story moments so far have been like, boom, like the intro to it, your prologue or whatever in the starting area. When you get to the point where it's like, now we're going to do this, I was like, holy fucking shit. And it does the thing where it pans out and it goes Assassin's Creed Odyssey. And I'm like, oh, right, I haven't even had a title screen. Like that, shit, you know what I mean? Like, but it sets you off in this thing and you're like, wow. And then I got there and I did that thing. And that thing was like, cool, now you're doing that thing. And I'm like, I didn't even fucking think about that thing. And then last night I was like, it's an Assassin's Creed where all of a sudden I'm finding myself going against my nature where it's like, yeah, all right, there's a lot of cool side shit. I gotta know what's happening.
Yeah.
I gotta see this story through. And I went into the next couple story things, and then another one of like, holy shit, you're that guy? Oh, fuck, all right, cool. And like,
That's
I
great.
need to get home to do the thing to get, and it's just like, I can tell you all these different beats from this game when Assassin's Creed's never been that for me. You know what I mean? Like Assassin's Creed, whether it was Ezio, whether it was Altair in terms of the PSP game or whatever, you know what I mean? It's always just been like, cool, yeah, they're Assassin's game and I'm out to fuck over the Templars. Great. Like they did a great job of being like, this is Cassandra and this is her story. And I can already see like where, oh, interesting. That's where we're kind of like touching the Assassin's Creed lore of it. Interesting. But again, they're not beating me over the head with that shit.
Yeah.
And I think
It's a good call.
they're doing it in a way that, Odell today on Kind of Funny Games Daily was talking about the fact of, it seems like a cool Greek game in the same way that like Black Flag was a cool pirate game, but is it a cool Assassin's game? And I was like, well, I am not really versed in answering that because I don't think the Assassins were that cool. I think that's a storyline that overstays its welcome eventually. Of being like, here's what the Templars are up to now. It's like, who the fuck cares? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I don't need that. I think they're playing with it so far, the right amount of it in terms of like how it plays into the overall thing because, all right, that's interesting, but I really want to know with Cassandra what's happening. And I know from DLC, whatever the news stories of like, this is happening, like there's this mythical creature or whatever in the game, right? Like I've kind of stayed Blackout, but I know that we know that there's like more mythos stuff in there, right? For me as someone with an education of Greek mythology that was like roughly, I vaguely remember things in high school and then God of War and stuff. The way they're introducing and playing with like, oh, the Cyclops, oh, like these things, like there's definitely been one thing where I tried to go into something and like this like fucking like gate, like a Rancor protective wall like shook, and she literally was like, well, I'm not ready to fight that beast. It was like, okay, that'll something I'll come back to.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's going to be one of these mythical things. I don't know what exactly people are talking about that because I've tried to stay Blackout. The way they are dealing with, oh, I recognize your name. Oh, I see what they're doing of like using terminology that you could see from people who are big in Greek myths, but then how that would get balanced out into, imagine now it's been however many thousands of years since this story was told, what a character named Cyclops would end up being. You're like, that's really fucking cool. They're doing a lot of really cool shit with it.
That's awesome.
And I just feel the game oozes personality. I really like the character. I really love the world. I think it is beautiful. It does terrify me of like, and it's 2018. You know how this fall is shaping up already, right? And so when I do zoom the map out and I'm level 15 or 16 or whatever now, and it's like, there's the area that's like for 47. And I'm like, I don't know if I'm ever going to fucking, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and that sucks because I'm enjoying it, but like Red Dead is also a world I want to get lost in. And, I do want to play other stuff in Lego and all this jazz. It's just like, I'm enjoying the ride so far.
I'm super impressed that in a year with God of War and Spider-Man, especially Spider-Man being so close to this, that you're this jazzed about an Assassin's Creed game.
Yeah, me too.
They must have done something really special.
Now, the thing about it, of course, is I agree. Yeah, I am. I'm totally jazzed, blah, 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 blah. I wouldn't put on, like, so far, my short list for Game of the Year Assassin's Creed. You know what I mean? Like, I'm having a great time, and it's a great game. Don't get me wrong. But it's just like, oh, it doesn't hold up to, like, what God of War did or Spider-Man's done. Like, I think it's a really cool story, and I like Cassandra. But then there is the, like, we talk about with God of War and Spider-Man, the fact that, finished God of War and felt like I needed to go finish those side quests because it was just cool. Spider-Man, I didn't do this story until I finished those side quests. There's a lot of bloat in Assassin's Creed of like, you can just get lost doing all this stuff. And that's what those games are, and they want to be there. And I am.
What are you playing it on?
Normal.
No,
PS4 Pro.
Okay, cool.
I find myself, now I really want to focus on the story. I really do want to run around and do all this different stuff. So maybe maybe the story, I'll beat it at level 22 or 24. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm sure I won't, but stuff like that. Also, I mean, it just doesn't look as good as those games do.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it looks good. She looks really good. Her facial animations are great. Most of the people you talk to, but there's just, things I've had it where the horse is running and then just like, it's still running, but like, it's just like moving, but the legs aren't moving and stuff like that. Or like, and then granted, there's a day one patch coming and all this different stuff. Maybe that'll be a fix for me. Little stuff like that where you're just like, oh, that just doesn't look that great.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, okay, I see like, oh, that hair physics doesn't look that great. None of this at all breaking the game for me. Not not even to the point that I think, you know, when I for Tomb Raider, right, when I put up my thing and then took it down because of, there's a day one patch coming to fix it. This wouldn't even be something I would list in the tweet version of my review or my comments on the game.
Yeah.
But in terms of like in a year of where it is like you're sitting there looking at Spider-Man and be like, holy shit, you're looking at fucking God of War. Like, I can't believe how good this game looks. This wouldn't be there, but this is still a fucking great game.
Next game I want to talk about is Life is Strange.
Life is Strange?
Season 2, Episode 1.
Right? Yeah, it's a mouthful, right?
Yeah. How you liking it? Because you love Life is Strange. Then
I do
we got
love Life is
the
Strange.
Underpants Captain, whatever it is.
Never played it.
Really?
Yeah. So I played obviously season 1 of Life is Strange, loved it, Max and Chloe. Then Before the Storm, you know, the story or the conversation we kept having on these shows was it has no business being as good as it is. And then Underpants hit at such a weird time. We were at some convention or about to go to some convention. Was it E3? I don't know, but it dropped and it was that thing of, cool, it's a nice little teaser and there'll be references to Life is Strange 2 in it, but they won't really play into it and there's no trophies. And I was just like, cool, I don't need to be sold on Life is Strange 2. Like, that's a cool interstitial and I'm glad it's free and I'm glad it's getting people in. It's just not something I need to play it. But Life is Strange 2, I do need to play and I'm very happy I have. Like, yeah, oh my God. Yeah, like it's, you know, I think Life is Strange 1 came out of left field for me. I didn't know much about it. I even played episode 1 at the time and was like, I don't know, and came back I think when 2 and 3 had been released. And so to see Don't Nod as a developer mature the way they have since the first one and have a way better pacing to it, a way better look to the game, like a feel to the game. It feels so smooth. It doesn't feel janky in spots or have pacing problems, I feel.
Totally new characters, right?
100%. Yeah. Same world.
Yeah, okay.
Same. At the very beginning, I thought it was real cool of, you know, did you play Life is Strange 1? Yes. Did you, spoilers for Life is Strange 1? Did you save or sacrifice Arcadia Bay, right? And I make the choice, and I was like, I can't wait to see how this plays out. Like, why are they asking me shit about that? Like, am I going to see Max in the corner of a room or something? I don't want to spoil how they do, but in episode 1, it's there, at least for me, based on how, and I sacrificed. Completely new characters. It's completely new characters. It's a completely new power. Of course, Max's power was the ability to rewind time. The power here is, Daniel, yeah, right. I'm Sean, yeah. So Daniel, the little brother, kind of is like Jean Grey in terms of like telekinesis, like can blast out stuff like that, and he doesn't really understand it until the end of it. And by understand it, I mean loosely. Well. Exactly, yeah. You've seen you've read a comic book once or twice, right? Yeah, it's a thing of him trying to face the powers. But it does the normal thing that Life is Strange is so great at. First off, having a badass soundtrack, but totally putting you into Sean's shoes, like this kid, the older brother's shoes, right? And it establishes immediately a family I super cared about. His dad's name is Esteban. You have a friend, Asian friend, female. I want to say Lila, but maybe Lydia. Whatever. She's an awesome character. Her relationship with you, Sean, is super good. You feel a connection to her immediately. You guys are getting ready and excited for this party that night. And so it's like, you know, you have these really heartwarming, cool, modern moments where, like, you know, you come in, he's a single father, Esteban, like he's talking to you and you're all bouncing around, but like you have conversations with him where you need money and he's like, is this for weed and beer? And you can say yes or no. And like, I chose to totally be upfront with him, and he gives you extra money. And he's like, just be safe. And he's like, nobody's driving. And like, you have like that real grown up conversation of like, well, cool, just don't fuck this up. You know what I mean? I'm trusting you kind of thing. And it's like, he's a heartwarming, cool dad who's doing well for his kids. You know what I mean?
Good old
like,
Esteban.
Yeah, good old Esteban indeed. Totally, right? And like, that's the thing is like, it's Life is Strange. So, you know, you pick shit up and you look through it and it's like, it makes you feel more.
Say hella a lot?
No hella. I didn't see that. They said something.
Bodacious?
No. He says something that, or she, the woman, your friend does. I forget. Lydia? God, that's going to drive me crazy. Lila? Can you look it up? Cast characters, Life is Strange, it's going to drive me crazy. But she says something. More importantly, what I found very interesting about this, Tim, and these are minor spoilers, I guess, for Life is Strange 2. But again, I'm not like giving you, that's where I'll stop with plot spoilers. I don't know, Tim, you didn't go to business school either.
I did not.
I don't know how much you understand licensing and fair use or anything like that.
Pretty well, actually.
I love the way they lean into making this very much like this is happening in your world. Daniel loves Minecraft. and talks about Minecraft, right?
That's cool.
When you're in the woods, this was tweeted, so I don't feel like it's a spoiler. It's not a story again. You're in the woods at one point, right? And you are walking, and there's these mushrooms growing on the tree. And Daniel's like, ew, reminds me of a clicker. And Sean goes like, and it's like Neil Druckmann tweeted, oh my God, when somebody sent him the clip. Like,
that's great.
They do a thing of, and they talk about Lord of the Rings. Like, it's just like a real cool thing. And it's not like, and it's not what Life is Strange 1 did, where at one point you literally went into somebody's room and Max picked up Final Fantasy. What's the movie that was in theaters?
Spirits Within.
Spirits Within. She's like, I don't know why this movie got such a bad rep. I really thought it was a great science fiction story.
No.
Like, oh, okay. You got characters from me yet?
No. I was saying.
Okay.
It was that bad.
Oh, yeah.
Spirits fucking within.
Yeah.
What an
No.
insult.
They do a really good job of making that happen. And then also it's totally this thing of, you know, you guys are Mexican. That's your family's heritage, right? You're up in...
Cassidy?
No, something with an L. For Life Strange 2? I'll look into it myself.
I'm not singing it.
Fine, I'll do it myself.
That was a Thanos quote. You know what I mean?
I do. Yes, I do know that.
So episode 1,
yeah.
you beat it,
Yes.
and you're
did.
liking it.
Like it a
You're
lot.
liking where you're going.
Yeah.
2 more to come.
Is that right? Or is there...
I don't know.
I thought it was 5 again.
Okay.
I assumed it was 5, but I haven't done...
4 more to come.
I haven't done the
4 more
research
to
on
come.
it. Yeah.
How does it compare to season 1? Like, do you think this has a potential to be better than it?
Oh my God, no. I mean, here's the thing. Even if it was, nobody would say it was, because it's just the fact that everybody loves Max or loves Chloe more than anybody. More, you know what I mean? I guess some people love Max. It's different already. I like that. It was that thing of how are you going to wrestle with another teenage angsty thing, and where I was driving before with. Oh yeah, Joey's played it.
Figure out her name's Lila.
Lila,
Okay.
thank you.
Yeah, I could not find
Sit
it.
down, Joey, because I want your opinion on this. But what I like about it and what we were just talking about, right, when I said they're a Mexican family, right?
Yeah.
Is the fact that this is happening in 2016. And so there's like a conversation on the phone with Lila in the text, if you scroll back, and of her being like, he's not actually going to win, is he? And yada,
Really?
yada, yada. And then as the story progresses, it is you wrestling with people calling you fucking racial slurs and putting you into that thing of like, well, just fucking immigrants are stealing. And you're like, and that's why we should build that wall kind of shit being said to you. And it's like,
I was not expecting it to go that
me neither.
deep into
right?
it.
And because like Chloe and Max's story was just like, not to lower it, but it was like, you know, Chloe's wrong side of the tracks in this affluent white suburb, and she's white too. So it's just like, and it was like, okay, this is totally a relatable story of 2 girls who don't really fit in and what's going to happen, yada, yada. Whereas this one is like, how do you do it again but not make it the same? It is like, well, let's address head on the fact that there's like a lot of racial tension.
divide.
Yeah. I guess it wasn't until we got to that point of the episode that I even put into context
Cool, Greg, her mic's up, right?
Yeah.
Just make sure.
how spoilery are we getting in this? Did we?
No, I said I want to give major plot spoilers
Okay.
or real plot spoilers. I talked about
only
the clicker
listened to,
thing
like-
already. Sorry.
Yeah. Conversations like that put earlier events into a way different perspective of like of what this narrative is going to be.
Yeah.
And I was totally not expecting it to go in that direction. I thought it was going to focus more on like this brother sibling
Yeah.
relationship and not necessarily touch on like a ton of social issues. But
Yeah.
I was like, I don't want to say happy that it did because that's not necessarily the right thing, but I'm glad that they're
Yeah, it's a cool way to
that it's
wrestle with
a
it.
deeper story than just.
And that was the
two
thing is I
brothers.
was, you know, from the outside, I was like, is this just going to be another teen? Life's so hard being
Yeah,
a teen, but we have
angsty.
special powers. And what does it do? And I love that, like, I thought it was interesting that Life is Strange, the mechanic was rewinding time and replaying things and making choices and yada, yada, yada. But you always felt like you had to get out of jail free of like, I want to be able to undo
could redo
this.
it, yeah.
Yeah. And so early on when Daniel's powers manifest the first time, I was in that thing of like, oh, fuck, well, we're going to rewind this? Or like, oh, no, we're moving on. Then it was that question, well, like, in Life is Strange, right? Season 1, they at the end of it, spoilers, go all the way back to the beginning, right?
Yeah.
If you choose the one ending. So it's like, oh, he'll be able to get out of this if he really wants to. And then the more and more I go like, oh, that's not his power. Like, this just isn't, he's not going to be able to undo this.
Yeah.
You are living with these ramifications that you're making.
Yeah,
Or choices that you're making.
does seem like way more permanent, and I like that there's not like this unspoken get out of jail free card.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see how the rest of the season
Is it 5
progresses.
total?
Yeah,
Yeah, I thought so. Okay.
so 2 through
Get
5
in my
I'm
head.
an idiot.
as they roll out.
I love you. But you liked it?
I really liked it.
Yeah.
I liked it more than I thought I was going to.
Yeah. That was my thing is I was invested the whole time.
Yeah.
At no point was it like, oh, what's happening on my phone? What's going on over here?
Yeah.
I was playing it the night before Jen was leaving, and she's like, oh, I want to go to bed early. I was like, all right, cool. So I stopped, and it was that thing of like, fuck, I wanted to finish that. You know what I mean? So to get home last night and just power through and be done with it.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I want more. I want to keep devouring the story.
I'm excited.
Cool, Greg. I'm throwing you a curveball here.
Curveball.
We're gonna do the ads right now.
Oh my gosh.
Before we get to our next thing, Greg, would you be surprised to know that Blue Apron sponsored this episode of the Kind of Funny Games Cast? They claim that Blue Apron can help you make dinner in as little as 20 minutes, and that every week at least 3 recipes built with your busy schedule in mind, where Blue Apron has done the meal prep for you, prepared sauces, spices, and ingredients will come your way. Is that true?
I can confirm, ladies and gentlemen, as a Blue Apron subscriber and lover, that is true.
Yeah.
Would you like to know what's coming in my next Blue Apron boxes?
I would love to know what you're
Of course,
getting, Greg.
ladies and gentlemen, each and every week, Blue Apron ships you pre-portioned, pre-packaged ingredients and step-by-step instructions so you can make delicious meals. You get to pick what you want, too. Actually, you know what? I haven't picked my next meals, but I can tell you what is pre-selected right now, and I'll tell you if I'm going to let them ride or not. Right now, I have seared beef dumplings and jasmine rice. That's going to stay.
All about them dumps.
Seared chicken and roasted potatoes. Yeah, they're going to stay. And then seared steaks and homemade steak sauce. Yes, but also with mashed potatoes and sauteed carrots.
3 for 3, man. They just know you. It's like
They do know me.
you.
They have been paying attention, I think.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So I'm so impressed that Blue Apron is this much a part of your life. Like Cooking with Greggy has taken the world by storm. But I feel like you've really adopted this Blue Apron into making you a better cook.
Well, that's the tagline of it, right? Isn't it? Or one of them or something? Or no?
Build it beautiful.
No. Yeah, 100%. Like,
A better way to cook. That's what it is, yeah.
Jen and I talk about it all the time, right? We both love cooking, and we both love finding new recipes and making something from scratch or making old favorites. What I love about Blue Apron is that, yes, it's taught me, I shouldn't speak for Jen. It's definitely taught me new ways to make things I was already making them easier, right? If we ever do Cooking with Greggy Season 2, I want to do the wings yet again, because now I do them a lot the Blue Apron way, which is no breading of any kind. Just putting them straight in there, right? And when to marinate them and when not to. But it's just, I love that it teaches me something new. It gives me something to put back in the repertoire. And then for the boxes themselves, it's great just not to think about it. I pick 3 meals ahead of time. You can do a month in advance. They all come. Great. Awesome. This is something easy to make. If you don't want to make that, which we do sometimes, cool. What can I take from the box to make my own thing with?
Yeah. That's so fancy. You can join Greg in doing this. All you got to do is go to blueapron.com/gamescast to get your first 3 meals free. You can check out this week's menu. Get your first 3 meals free at blueapron.com/gamescast. Blueapron.com. A better way to cook. And also, shout out to Movement for once again sponsoring us. You have heard us talk about Movement all the time, right? We talk about the watches, we talk about the sunglasses. Let me tell you, I was just at a wedding at Disneyland. There was a lot of sun going on, and I was like, man, I wish I had a pair of sunglasses on me. Guess what? I had a pair of Movements in my backpack. All of my woes were solved, and it was great. My brother, Cool Greg, he's over there. He wears his Movement watch all the time.
All the time.
He's never late. Not once has he been late in my entire life because of Movement watches. Movement watches are all about looking good and keeping it simple. Movement doesn't tell you how many steps you've taken or blow your wrist up with text messages. It keeps it simple. It lets you tell the time. It lets you understand the ticks and the talks. You know what I mean? These Movement watches start at just $95 at a department store. You're looking at $400 to $500. Why would you do that? No.
Don't do
you
it.
get 15% off today with free shipping and free returns by going to mvmt.com/kinda. See why Movement keeps growing. Check out their expanding collection. Go to mvmt.com/kinda. Join the movement. Just like Gia as well. She loves these watches. She has like 2 of them.
Yeah.
She has multiple pairs of the sunglasses. You rock the sunglasses too.
Do wear them all the time.
Man, Movement. They know what they're doing.
A better way to look.
Keep it moving.
Keep it moving's good.
Keep it moving.
Keep it moving.
Next game I want to talk about, Greg.
Yeah.
Transference.
Transference. Elijah Wood's own.
The Ubisoft VR game.
Yeah. It's non-VR as well.
So that's what's interesting. I didn't know that.
Well, you learn
I
something
walked
every
in
day
and saw
with
you
Greg
today
Miller.
playing without the VR on.
Yeah.
I watched it a couple days ago with the VR on.
Sure.
seeing you
Yeah,
do
yeah.
that. And I'm like, oh, that's the Elijah Wood game. Elijah Wood, not in the game.
No.
Just made the game.
Yeah, it's
Just produced the game?
his company or something
Yeah.
that helped produce it, and then they put him in the trailer, of course.
How is the game?
It's fine. Yeah, no.
How long is the game?
2 hours is what's been going. It's hard for me because I broke it up over 2 days because I was trying to get through it the first day I played it, and then something happened and I couldn't, so then I polished it off today. Yeah, 2 hours. Andy had played it, I know, and said 2 hours as well, I think. Yeah, it's fine. It's we didn't know much about it going in, right? Like they showed the trailer and it's like a mind experiment or something. Oh, all right, cool. Oh, it's in VR. Oh, that sounds really cool. Got there and put it on. It's like, oh, okay. Like it's not bad by any means. It just never had me like, what is gonna happen next? I was interested enough that after I turned it off, that I'm like, I can't have that much more left. I should play through it. But it was like VR, I thought added nothing to it.
Really?
Like, yeah, like at first you put it on and I'm like, oh, it's gonna be like PT. You know what I mean? Because you're walking around this house. The whole thing happens.
PT in VR. I don't know about that.
The whole thing happens in the house of this family, right? The guy who's and it's not spoilers, I guess. The whole guy who's been working on this experiment, right? It's him, his wife, and their kid. And so, like, basically you flip light switches that basically change, I don't know if it's a full-blown dimension, but change definitely the dimension you're in terms of that apartment. And so, like, rooms are different, things are in different places and whatever. And so I started it and it was like, oh man, like even in the trailers, I think you'd seen like a pixelated, like black creature or whatever. I'm like, that thing's gonna chase me and kill me. Every time he shows up, it's in a very, he's supposed to do something, or that's supposed to happen and push you. The few times that you'd be like jump scared is that you turn and somebody's like the outline of the son or the wife's there or whatever. And it's just like, early on, it's established like this just is, it's not really scary. It's more of a what's going on and why is this happening? And I feel like playing through it, you kind of piece together, oh, this is why it's happening. Okay. And so I just go. And like I was
it's a
like
mystery. Solved it.
I was like, I want to get to the end to see like the end. And I got to the end and it was just like, oh, that was very lackluster. Like what I would have kind of, okay. There isn't even like the whole like, this is what was going on. It's more like, I did this and this is what. And like,
cool.
Yeah, all right, cool. Credits.
Is it a full price game?
That's a great question. I don't know.
I'm gonna Google.
Give me a price tag on that one. Yeah. It's definitely out of. Though I would not recommend it. I think in the amount of games that are out there right now, I don't think you have to play this game. I was never like so enraptured with it that I thought about it, but I did want to see it through to finish it. It's got a very annoying collectible system. Of like you pick
$25.
up $25. Definitely don't buy this. Not worth $25 at all. Of picking up video files and audio files, and then you have to go into the start menu to play them, and you do it, and it doesn't even show you what's new. So you like add ones later on. I was like, wait, well, this sucks.
Man.
Yeah.
That's kind of a bummer.
I was disappointed. I thought I think E3, right, is when we first saw the debut of it.
last year.
Was it? Jeez. I was like, all right, cool.
We saw it 2 times at E3.
Yeah, PlayStation VR, like I said, added nothing to it. It's the problem too of then when you go into normal, and I didn't go through the controls and check it, so this might be me speaking out my ass. Put it in the YouTube comments if I'm wrong. But like when you go into regular non-VR mode, you still can't like run because like it's got that VR pace movement, so like you don't get sick or whatever. But then like when I left and I was like doing everything that would normally make you run, it doesn't. So it's just like, all right, gotta walk over there to put the crystal in the thing. All right, you know what I mean? Like, meh.
Yeah.
Nah. No, thank you, sir.
I played a little bit of the new Nintendo mobile game, Dragalia Lost.
Mobile game or bullshit? Is it mobile?
It's somewhere in between, Greg. No, here's one thing. It's definitely a mobile game. Is it bullshit? I don't know. It seems like there's a really good game there. I don't like letting the look of games turn me off to it.
Sure.
This game, I can't, man. I can't wrap my head around it. Like it's the chibi style. Like I feel like I can get down with chibi if I'm already familiar with the characters. And it's like, oh, it's a cute version of Cloud, or it's a cute version of Pokemon, or whatever.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
For it to just be like, oh no, this is the look of these things.
This is how it is, man.
I don't know, and like I want to give it another shot. I want to like try to get into it, but like so far, I was just like, there's way. This is way too dumbed down for me to be enjoying this. This feels very much like a mobile game. And I was like, okay, I like how the controls are presented to you in order to be able to play one-handed and it to be comfortable. But I was like, there's that tutorial stage in
every
RPG type, in every game, but in RPG type games that like is really the make or break of like, am I having fun?
Yeah.
Or like, am I going to push through? And like Kingdom Hearts 2 had this problem where the tutorial never ended.
Oh, dude, I mean, as much as I love Valkyria Chronicles 4, I feel like so many hours in, you're still getting where it's like telling me some new mechanic. I'm like, can I just fucking play the game?
And like, I'm seeing that problem with this. So it's like, I don't see myself really like investing time into it. And it sucks because I feel, and I'm interested in this game and seeing how it does and like how people kind of are playing it in a couple months. Because it's an interesting move for Nintendo to, after Mario Run, Pokemon Go, Animal Crossing Pocket Camp, like for them to come out like, hey, here's this new RPG that's a brand new IP. Interesting move for them, you know?
Yeah.
And Fire Emblem Heroes especially being a major success. I don't know. It feels kind of like a safe bet for mediocrity. And
What a ringing endorsement.
And it's like, you know, especially we know that Mario Kart's coming eventually.
Yeah.
But where is that?
Yeah, who the hell knows?
You know, Mario Kart Tour or whatever. So I don't know. Let me know though. I'm interested. Tweet at me if you're having a good time with the game. And if
It's super new,
worth
right?
pushing through. Yeah, I think it came out yesterday.
Okay, yeah.
I think it came out last night. Yeah.
Yeah, because somebody on Games Daily put it in You're Wrong today that I'd missed it recently, so I wasn't sure if I missed it.
Then the other thing I've been having a great time with is the NES Online collection.
Dude, I haven't even turned it on. Like today, I didn't realize I was still in airplane mode from London. So today to update Fortnite, I was like, oh fuck, I got in there. So I haven't touched anything about it.
Yeah, so we got the family plan, so we all kind of funny have it.
Kind of funny
Very
family.
excited about it. I'm kind of excited about how simple that was to just share the family plan, where you buy the $35 for, I think it's 8 people total that can do it. Maybe it's 7. And all you got to do is just go on to sign into your account online, and just you can hit add member, and you need their email. Like you don't even need their Nintendo ID name or whatever. It's just the email associated with it. It sends them an email. They click on it, and then next thing you know, you have it. And you're in. Joey downloaded it. She's been playing a lot of Dr. Mario.
Where do I look for stuff? Is it just
you go
in
to
the
the
store?
eShop and you download there's an app.
Okay.
And that app is where it's kind of like Netflix.
Cool.
You open it up and it has everything. The way the Nintendo games are presented is gorgeous.
Really?
Beautiful. Yeah, it's just all of the box arts are just lined up right next to each other. So it's like this beautiful array of thumbnails.
Nice.
And I am shocked at how quick everything is. Getting into a game, out of the game, it's instant. Like you play Mario 1, hit start, back out to the menu, and go into the next game. There's no loading at all. So I've been loving that, and I've been trying to take it slow, but I just played Mario Brothers 1. And Mario Brothers, all the classics are the ones that are games that I go back to probably yearly.
Yeah.
But I haven't went back to Super Mario Brothers 1 in a couple years for some reason. I think it's just because Virtual Console hasn't been on Switch or on the systems I've been playing. But going back to that game, and I'm like, I'm going to play every single fucking level, because usually I do all the warps and stuff.
Yeah.
I had a great time on the last flight I was on, going down to LA, just going through each and every level and just being like, man, video games have come so far, but there's just a brilliance to Super Mario Brothers level design.
Oh, yeah.
And just like, especially because I rarely play a lot of the levels because I skip everything.
Sure.
There's so much cool design choices they make in the middle of that game that most people skip when they play through it, that I just am mind blown happened so early in video games history. You know, just like
they had that good of a head on their shoulders.
They were that creative. They didn't need to be. There is some real things about Mario Brothers 1.
Fucking
the castle
Koopas.
levels, when you have to figure out the pattern of go high, mid, or low for different things. That's not fun. Never was.
Oh, damn.
And never will be.
That is really pretty.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it for the first
Isn't
time.
it? It's fucking cool, man.
Okay.
I'm excited to see where it goes. I do have a couple issues, though. I really, really, really hate that you can't configure the button combinations. I hate the way that for Nintendo, the A and B buttons, it's like a diagonal up to do it. Whereas like on the NES, it felt more like a horizontal thing of like hold B to run and hit A. This is like a weird, it's just a weird way to do it. It's been that way for a long time. But
So are you ready to admit you're going to buy the NES Joy-Cons?
that wouldn't, oh no.
The ones you hated so much? You're
Yeah,
gonna buy
I still
them.
do. No,
You
I'm
coward.
not a chance in fuck I'm buying those
Coward.
things.
What if
I
they
ain't-
send
I'm
them to
doing
you?
it.
What if they send them to you?
Don't want it.
You're gonna throw them away. You smash them in
I'm
front
gonna
of
throw it away.
Smash them in front of Cool
I'll
Greg.
leave them here. I don't want that shit.
Hey, Super Mario Brothers 3's here. That's cool.
It is.
Still never played it.
Well, here's your chance, Greg. You got to do it.
Look at him go. That's
you gotta,
Mario, all right.
Look at him go.
He's having. Now, when I say I've never played it, I mean I've never beaten it. Yeah, I mean, I've played it.
Oh, you got it, man. Especially you being such a big fan of World.
Yeah.
I've come around over the years that Mario Brothers 3 is better than Mario World, and I was someone that
What?
would have fought people to the death.
Really?
Yeah. I love World, but at the end of the day, Mario Brothers 3 is a freaking amazing game with varied locals. They're just so good. Locales. Another thing I don't like, though, is the HUD of at least of the Nintendo games. We'll see when others are added, if they're added. but I don't like how you're always seeing your account icon and the controls or whatever at the bottom of the screen. It's like, just show me the game, man.
Let the game be the game, man.
Let the game be the game.
Cool, Greg, say it.
Game be the game.
Thank you, Cool Greg. I went to Twitter to ask you guys what questions you had for us to answer. It's been a while since we've done reader mail on the Kind of Funny Games.
Reader mail.
I feel like Will Smith writes in and says,
Will Smith.
which one of you is Chip and which one of you is Dale? Because I used a GIF of Chip and Dale. Something I didn't.
Which one's
realize.
the with the big red nose?
I think that's Dale.
Really? I would say that was Chip.
I don't know which one's which. I have a story about Chip and Dale.
I'm the dumb one.
That's really exciting. At Disneyland that I was at this weekend for my friend's wedding, we were in the lobby of the Disneyland Hotel, and one of them, let's just, for sake of conversation, say Chip, was standing there taking pictures with people, having a good time and stuff. And I'm like, that's cool. The costume people, it's great. Little kids are all happy. About 5 minutes later, Dale walks in. The other side of the building, they like look at each other and freak out and run up and just like high five and stuff. And I'm like, this is the most hype thing ever.
That sounds like something they do every time, and I'm sure it's amazing and they love it.
I love it. I love it so much.
You know,
Shout out to Chip and Dale.
who's gonna be able to answer this question? Who Chip and Dale is? One, Poe. Poe will know the answer to this. And yes, this is the real Poe, not some other person in my phone named Poe. As we learned earlier with the Andrea problems.
Which is Chip and which is Dale is a popular Google search. Auto-filled itself.
You gonna check them?
After I put in which is CH, Chip and Dale.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. See, this is the problem with 2018. Yeah, nobody answers their goddamn phones anymore.
Both have different personalities, where Chip is known to be the smart one and Dale the goofy one. Chip has a small black nose and looks similar to a chocolate chip, while Dale has a large red nose. Chip has two close together front teeth, while Dale has two spread apart teeth.
Cheeks. He's got two spread
them
apart
cheeks,
cheeks.
You nasty little squirrels.
Chip and Dale rescue.
Sean S. Johnson says, for Greg, have you ever said anything on accident on a recorded show that someone told you off the record? And if so, did they confront you about it?
Great
How
question.
often does this happen in the industry?
Oh, great question. So your answer is complicated, kind of. Yes/no. Have you ever said something off the record that you? Blah, blah, blah. I said something on a Kind of Funny Gamescast that was off the record, and honestly, in a saving grace because it's the only time I've ever fucked it up in my career. A saving grace. It was one that we weren't broadcasting live. Do you remember this? Mm-mm. It's not like off the record, like, hey, Last of Us 2 is fucking canceled. You know what I mean? But it was like something stupid.
Can't say that, Greg.
What? Fuck? Are we live now? But it was something somebody had told me, and afterwards I was like, you know what? Let me check. And I checked, and they're like, oh, yeah, please don't say that. I was like, yeah, you know what? Let's cut that out. And we cut it out. But it was like, it was something that it wasn't like I was confirming or killing or doing anything like that, but it was just like enough that it would have started some kind of rumor and had a tinge to it. But I didn't realize that it was. So anyways. Yes, no. It doesn't happen to me. It doesn't happen often. Obviously, no. I'm lucky enough that I've been told enough things in confidence that I think people trust me to know everything in confidence that I won't fuck it up. And again, this wasn't me This is one of those things that was a gray enough area that I could have gotten away with, and it wouldn't have been a big deal. You would have had no idea if I said this and that it was a thing. But yeah, I dodged a bullet there.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I ever fucked up with that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, it's always the more of the thing of like, oh wait, or what are we like? Andrew and I bitching about the
safe about stuff.
the review embargo. Oh yeah, well I mean it's our career, right?
Yeah,
and it's like I don't ever
And
want, I
friendships
never
and
want to fuck stuff
relationships,
up, right? Yeah.
And I feel like it's not often in the industry that it happens, because if it does, those people, it gets very public very quickly.
Sure,
Yeah,
yeah.
then it
And there's a
becomes
difference
headlines.
between having a mistake and misspeaking, you know what I mean, versus going out of your way to fuck something up.
Yeah, totally. 8-bit hero, hate bit hero.
That's a good one.
Says, how do you pick the name of your video game characters in RPGs and such?
Well, it all depends. For me, I'm game over Greggy because I always name my characters Greggy. It was for growing up. So like, Link was always Greggy and Zelda and stuff like that. And then of course did a column called Game Over, eventually needed a Xbox Live username. And so I just took Game Over and put Greggy together. The deeper, it then depends on the kind of game, where if I can customize the character and make them look a certain way, it's generally going to be I'm going to model it, and it's either going to be Taylor Swift or Kara. Kara Zor-El, right?
Yeah.
That's Kara Zor-El has always been my Monster Hunter. So always was, and I made Taylor Swift in a bajillion games. Excuse me. And then if it's something that I'm just stuck with, if it looks enough like me, or I don't care, I'll say me, or I'll do Jen or whatever. Like I just tinker, tinker with how I feel in the game in particular.
Yeah. I tend to go default with the character names, like whatever they want it to be.
Yeah, I hate it
like
when you do, because when you fuck around with it and like when you can rename everything and then you're trying to have a conversation with somebody, like my guy's name's Bats, you know?
Yeah. Pokemon, I usually nickname all my Pokemon my friends' names because it's fun for me. But yeah, if I do give it a name, it's usually my name, Tim Gettys, or at Tim Gettys.
At Tim Gettys, nice,
yeah. Joe Medford said, love the party mode for Super Mario Party. Do you guys think the game is worth getting on day one? How does what you've played so far compare to classics in the series like Mario Party 2? Does it bring back the manic Mario Party feel? I haven't played enough to say whether or not it's worth getting on day one. What I've played so far does feel like a classic Mario Party game. We had a blast.
Dude,
I cannot wait to play more.
I tweeted a bunch about it, but like, I mean, and I think it's just too that I don't watch party mode all the time because we're in it and like I know what it is. So like watching these two party modes not being there, I was like, God damn, this looks like fun. You guys had such a fun.
So much fun. And that's the thing is it's like this is not Mario Party 10. This is not the issues. Like they really understand what's going on. The board seemed super fun, the one that we played. Like you guys saw what we played. So in the party modes, like we didn't get to do anything more than that. I'm very excited to get my hands on it. As I was playing, I was at the wedding I keep bringing up. Like I was with my friends and they were asking me about it, and I'm like, I can't wait to play with them. Like I can't. It is such a. I do think it's going to bring back all the feelings that you had. 80 mini games in it. From the ones that we played, I'd say majority of them, like I had a really good time with. They're not all motion control, but they're all Joy-Con. So there's no Pro Controller support. Each person gets a Joy-Con, which I actually think is brilliant for this type of game.
Have more controllers.
And it also, you always have two on you.
Yeah.
That's great. You can play a full 4-player match with just two sets of Joy-Cons.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I think this game is going to be really good. I hope that it's really good. I hope that it's spectacular and that there's a lot more that I haven't seen yet. We didn't get to play the cooperative mode where it's like 4 versus 1.
Yeah.
That seems really intriguing as well.
Do you know, or can you say, is somebody, there was a lot of, I think 50 turn I saw a lot of questions about, and then 10 turn too.
We did 10 turn.
Okay. I was tweeting about, hey, I really fucking like this, and people were hitting me up asking me, does it have 50 turn? I'm like, or 100 turn? I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, I imagine it does. I didn't see that as options.
Okay.
Like they pretty much got us to the mint, or where
I'm
it was
sure,
supposed to be, and then we went.
Mr. Nintendo doesn't fuck around when he shows up with unreleased stuff.
Yeah, so far I'm really into it. I'm hoping that there's some more classic feeling mini games that aren't so Waggle reliant.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like the Waggle ones are good, and like Waggle isn't bad by default.
No,
you know. And I think that these are very smartly created games. We haven't been able to do them dual switch setup games yet, but that looks cool as well. Someone just says, why is Gamora? And someone else just sent, not even a question, just a picture of fried chicken, it looks like.
Nice.
Cool.
Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm ready for Infinity War Part 2, or Avengers 4, whatever you want to call it.
I've been thinking about it a lot recently. I'm hoping, and there's no way this is going to happen, but I'm hoping we don't know the name until the trailer.
I don't think. I mean, they made a reference recently that you're getting closer to the teaser trailer.
Yeah, but by that I mean like, I wish that I cannot be spoiled by the headline, and like watch the trailer and just see the title splash at the end.
I can do it for you if you want. If you don't want,
I don't know. It's gonna be so hard with the internet. Happier Day by Day says, who's getting which one? Pokemon Let's Go, Eevee, and Pikachu. I'm getting Eevee. For sure.
I'm not getting either, unless you convince me to get one.
Yeah, I don't know that I will.
I'll be so caught up in Ghostbusters World whenever that drops.
A lot of crossplay questions. We talked a lot about that at the beginning of the show.
Crushed that.
Leo says, odds of Ninja Gaiden 80s version in Smash. Honestly, man, like That's a character that I've never really seen requested. We brought it up a little bit a couple weeks ago on Gamescast when it was just me and Jared, but I don't know why people aren't clamoring for Ryu the way that they did for like Simon Belmont and stuff. That'd be really, really interesting and cool. I don't think it's going to happen because like Ninja Gaiden is Koei, right? Koei
Tecmo Koei. Yeah.
Maybe.
Smash is getting close, man.
Smash is getting real close.
It's October.
Yeah. There's less days to Smash
than
there has been since it's been announced.
Okay, we've crossed the threshold. Yeah.
Crossed the threshold. And Sakurai recently, last night, came out and said that the character additions are going to start to slow down.
Okay.
So,
okay.
We'll see. I hope he's lying. Thoughts on Life is Strange 2? We gave you those, Jeffrey.
Got you, Jeffrey. Covered you. Is the Bloodhound Gang still making new music? Cool, Greg?
Probably not.
No. I can't believe that.
Antonio Lara N says, can we have a topic about game codes? Who sends you them? Do you ask for them? Can you gift a code? If you don't use them, do you send them back? Everything about codes and PR is a mystery for me.
Building in a mystery. Game codes are sent to you generally by PR people. Obviously, I say generally because if you're an indie studio, independent studio, you're probably sending it. But even if you're indie, like, and you have a PR person or a social media manager, somebody, they might send them off. Codes, of course, are generated by the first parties and given out that way. Some of the first parties make you pay for the codes, which I know is a problem. Steam now has a limit on how many codes it'll give you, at least at first blush, because people were doing the whole like, hey, can I get 12,000? Like, sure. And then they'd put them on like, some third seller's site. Do you have to ask for them? Yes and no. It goes both ways. Like, a lot of different people have a lot of different... Everybody's different, basically. Where it will be that it's usually the bigger the game, the more hoops you need to jump through for it. And not in a bad way, but like Nintendo will hit you up because they have a limited amount of codes and be like, hey, are you guys interested in game? Are you interested in Mario Party? Are you interested in whatever? We say yes, they'll send codes. If you say no or you ignore it, you're not going to get anything. PlayStation's the same way. Like, for Spider-Man, it was, hey, it was me and Andy, because obviously I don't shut up about it. And Andy had gone to the preview event. And it was like, you guys are approved for codes. Do you want codes? You have to agree to these social media guidelines, this embargo, so on and so forth. The other side of the spectrum is usually indies, where they will be like, hey guys, we have a game coming out on Steam. This is where it's always like, they don't even know what we play, which is fine. And I'm not mad. I understand what you're doing, but they'll send you 4 codes, 5 codes, 6 codes. They'll just send you a boatload of codes. What to do with the codes if we don't use them? Most of the time, people, especially indies where they're sending you 1 million, just want you to share the codes, get them out to your audience. They'll put that in their email, like, hey, da-da-da-da. As you go up to, again, the other side of the spectrum with PlayStation or Nintendo, we're requesting those codes from them as they ask for it. So those are all going to get claimed. Those aren't going to be wasted. In the middle there, I've definitely done it where somebody will send something and I'll hit them back and be like, hey, really not our game. We're not going to use the code. And I've had 9 times out of 10, it's cool, give it away. Just give it away to somebody. It's more work for us to go put it back into the spreadsheet than it is for us to go do this other way. And so that you'll see on Kind of Funny morning show, we give away a code every day as we do during Extra Life and stuff. A lot of those are codes that have been sent to us that we got too many of. Like, because they'll say, oh, there's 7 of you, here's 7 things, but it's just me and Kevin that want to play this VR game or whatever. It's a different thing there. I think I covered all of his questions, right? Yeah.
Ryan Egme says, which game will sell better for the Switch? Let's Go Pokemon games or Super Smash Ultimate?
Ooh.
It's not even a question. It's Pokemon Let's Go.
Yeah.
Those games are their sales numbers are going to be astronomical by the end of the Switch's life cycle. We're getting Pokemon so early, a very accessible Pokemon game on a very successful Nintendo system.
Yeah.
This thing, it's going to sell forever and ever and ever. There's 2 versions of it. People will end up buying multiple copies. It's going to be insane. Pulling up some sales numbers. Smash Bros. For Wii U sold 5.34 million copies, which is a lot compared to the 13 point something million Wii U's that existed.
Yeah.
Really good attach rate. But Smash Bros. For 3DS sold 9.24 million copies. So almost double what it sold on Wii U, but that's because there was 64 million 3DSs in the wild, right?
Sure.
3DS to 3DS, Smash Bros. 9.24, Pokemon X and Y are at 16.31, Pokemon Sun and Moon are at 16.12, and Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon that have only been out now a year, not even a year, are at 7.72.
Okay.
So
you're saying Smash?
it's but Smash is going to sell really well.
Oh, yeah.
As well. I'm excited for that. Let's look at some Smash Bros.
Let's look at some Smash Bro numbers, bro.
64 sold 5.5 million. Melee was 7.4 million. Brawl was 13.27 million on the Nintendo Wii.
Damn.
I think that Smash Ultimate's going to be the best-selling Smash game of all time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it.
Yeah. It's exciting time.
Switch is hot.
Phoenix Wright for Smash says, what do you guys think Nintendo will be bringing to the Game Awards this year? Metroid Prime 4.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I think we get the gameplay reveal of Metroid Prime 4.
Oh, doctor. I think it'll be more Cranky Kong.
Oh, Cranky
Game
Kong.
Awards, man. They're coming up too.
I want one more.
Can you believe how close we are to Red Dead? And I know we don't care about Red Dead, but how close we are to Red Dead.
It's real close.
Crazy. It's that point now where Jen was starting to ask me about, oh, do you want to do this on this weekend? I'm like, babe, that's in Red Dead area.
Yeah.
I don't know when I'm going to get a Red
plans
Dead
are being
code,
made.
but a heads up, when Red Dead comes, you and Portilla need to fuck off because I'm not going to deal with you.
Figure shit out,
You know what I mean?
man.
I got a horse and his testicles shrink and drip.
I want to do two more because I like these. Declan Riley says, Greg, are you going to play Walking Dead episode 2?
I am. Yeah, I wanted to get it done for this episode of Gamescast, but I really love Odyssey. And so when Life is Strange took 2 nights instead of 1, I was like, I got to get back. I got to see what Cassandra's up to out there, man. I got these Greek people in Athens that need to get their asses kicked. Come on.
Yeah, I get it, dude. I said I was only going to do 1, but then I said I was only going to do 2. Now, I'm only going to do 3 because, cool, Greg, No Fate has a question for you. As Halloween is approaching, if given the choice, would you rather be a vampire or a werewolf? Note the original rules apply. Vamps can't go out in the day, and werewolves only change on a full moon.
Well, I am the knight, so it should be vampires, but I've wanted to be a werewolf for
No,
a really long time.
Cool, Greg.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I enjoy a good werewolf story more maybe than a vampire. But vampires at least get to be in control of themselves. Werewolves are just crazy feral
I've never
beasts.
felt in control.
Huh?
I've never felt in control of myself.
Great point, actually. That's a cool point. All right. So, yeah, it wouldn't be much different. It wouldn't be very different for Cool Greg.
So final question comes from Jordan at 32bit player on Twitter. 18 months into the Switch, what's your take on the platform? What does it succeed at and where is it lacking? What would you like to see Nintendo and third parties do for it in the future, as in day-and-date multiplayer platform, AAA releases, additional retro platforms, etc.?
God bless the Nintendo Switch.
Hell yeah.
The Nintendo Switch is amazing. We've talked about it before, I know, on the show. I won't beat a dead horse here. But I mean, like, I played Valkyria Chronicles for 12 straight fucking hours from England to America. And, like, that flight melted. It just went away, right? It's the promise. I guess it's the execution of the promise that the Vita always was. It's this machine that gives you, these console quality
games
experiences on the go, right? And I know it sounds goofy and stupid, but like,
real.
Holy shit, is that amazing? That can't be understated how great that is. And then it is the thing you're talking about with your friends of like, it is, yes, let's pop off the controllers. Let's pop off the Joy-Cons. Let's all fuck around on this one thing and have fun and play around in Mario Kart. Let's, here play Mario. I mean, when fucking Smash drops, like,
I mean, you know me, you know my friends, we love Smash. I had to bring Smash to this wedding, and that meant I had to bring my Wii U.
Yeah.
It meant I had to bring 4 GameCube controllers wired. It meant I had to bring the USB adapter to plug into the Wii U. It meant I had to bring the gamepad because you can't use the Wii U without the fucking gamepad. It means I need to bring the AC adapter for the Wii U and the AC adapter for the gamepad because that fucking battery dies in a second. And it's just like, that is so much shit to bring.
And it's, I know this is a very specific use case for us outside of just the travel shit, but like when we go to any of the last 2 RTXs, when I went to PAX West, right, and it was like, let's do a video game tournament, right? Great. I have a machine packed with video games on it, and all I need to do is bring the dock and you know what I mean? Like, it's so low impact on moving it and doing things with it because it's designed to be that way. In the same way, the promise of the GameCube was that handle on it, right? Of like, you're going to take it to your friend's houses and do stuff. And you did, but I mean, this is like into my backpack and I forget about it. Whereas like when I'm like, I got to play God of War or something, I have the PlayStation in there and I feel that I have the PlayStation in there and I have controllers and cables and everything.
Yeah.
Switch is insanely amazing, and I think it's honestly, it's going to be in the running for, if not, I mean, high on my short list of favorite consoles I've ever owned.
Me too.
Because like it's not even the novelty of it, of having everything. It's just that there's that part of it, but then it is the fact that it's so good. And the games are so good.
It's the ease of use, and it works.
Yeah.
And I know comparing it to the Wii U is silly, but like the Wii U just had so many issues, hardware wise, or just a perfect example is everything that I just said I brought to play Smash. I also had Mario Kart on the system. Guess what? We couldn't play because GameCube controllers aren't compatible with Mario Kart 8. I can't fucking wait to have Smash on the Switch and be able to play a bunch of rounds of Smash, then do some Mario Kart, then do some Towerfall, then do some Super Sports Match. It's just like, there's all these things. They've done indies so well. They're nailing their first party games so well. What can they improve on? In my opinion, this Nintendo Switch Online stuff needs to keep going. We need more games. We need
SNES games.
We needed Super Nintendo games. We need N64. We need GameCube.
Yeah.
Like, if we do eventually get all those things, and by eventually I mean sooner than later, within the next 2 years, this would be my favorite console of all time. If it gives me great ways to play all my old favorite games, but especially with the focus on the multiplayer stuff with friends and quality single player games like Breath of the Wild and Odyssey and eventually Metroid Prime 4 and all that stuff, I'm fucking in.
Yeah, love it.
Baby. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Kind of Funny Gamescast. Thank you very much for joining us. We will see you tomorrow on twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames for the Kind of Funny Morning Show and Kind of Funny Games Daily. I'll be on that with Greg. It's been a while.
It's been a while since I could say
Until next time.
that I wasn't
I love you.
addicted.
Thank you for watching that episode. You can click here to subscribe to Kind of Funny Games. You can click there to subscribe to Kind of Funny. You can click here for Patreon. Yeah, Patreon. And you can click here for whatever cool Greg wants to put there. Thank you. Awesome.
Low.